Question 11. How many years will 100,000 naira amount to 180,000 naira at 5% simple interest per annum? Solution. This question requires you to find the time in years, but the simple interest is also needed. From the question, principal is 100,000, amount is 180,000, rate 5%, the interest is unknown, the time is also unknown. From amount equal to principal plus interest, we can get the interest easily. This is amount, this is principal plus interest. If you make interest the subject, you have 180,000 minus 100,000 equal to interest, and interest becomes 80,000. Back to the simple interest formula where we can get the time. The interest is 80,000 equal to principal times rate times time over 100. The rate is 5. The principal is 100,000. You can reduce 2 zeros. You are left with 80,000 equal to 1,000 times 5 times t. To get t, divide both sides by the product of 1,000 and 5. You have it in this form. After simplification, you have 80 over 5, and that gives 16 years. B is the correct option. Question 12. If matrix B is equal to this, determine the transpose of B. The transpose of B is denoted by B power t, and it is the matrix obtained by interchanging or switching rows and columns of the matrix. When you are doing it, it's either you go by row wise and you maintain it all through, or you go by column wise. You don't miss it. So let's take the first row and make it the first column. You take the second row and make it the second column. You take the third row and you make it the third column. You have C as the correct option, the transpose of matrix B. Question 13. If y is a whole number such that 3y plus 4 is equivalent to 7 modulo 8, find the value of y. Solution. This is a given equation. You transfer plus 4 to the right and you have it in this form. If you subtract, you get this result. Divide through by 3. What you are dealing with is this. If you divide through by 3, you have y equivalent to 1 modulo 8. Now 1 is an element in modulo 8, so y is equal to 1. Now assuming this 1 is 9, for instance, 9 is not an element in modulo 8, and as such you divide 9 by 8 and you rake up the remainder. But in this case, the 1 that you have there is an element in modulo 8, so no further operation is needed. A is the correct option. Question 14. The third and seventh terms of a geometric progression are 72 and 8/9 respectively. Find the first term. Anytime you have problems like this, it always leads to a system of equation. If it is an AP, you have linear equations. If it is a GP, as you have in this form, you have non-linear equation. You are asked to find the first term. Now, we go by the nth term formula of a geometric progression. You have the third term is 72. At this point, n is equal to 3. So, the third term is equal to this. First term and common ratio are unknown. You replace n with 3. The third term is 72 equal to a arrow squared. You call that equation 1. The seventh term is 8/9. At this point, n is equal to 7. So for the seventh term, you replace n with 7 in this form. The seventh term is 8/9 equal to a arrow power 6. You can call that equation 2. Whenever the equations are non-linear, you divide the two equations. Because the power of arrow in equation 2 is higher, let us divide equation 2 by 1 side by side. So left hand side of equation 2 divide by that of equation 1. You have it in this form. Right hand side of equation 2 divide by that of equation 1. You have it in this form. If you change this sign to multiplication, you invert this fraction to this. From here, a cancel a. If you divide arrow power 6 by arrow power 2, you have arrow power 4. If you simplify the left hand side, you have 1/81 equal to arrow power 4. To get arrow, you need to take the fourth root of 1/81, and that is 1/3. To get a, you need to substitute the value of arrow into any of the equations. I'm taking equation 1. This is equation 1. You replace arrow by 1/3 and you square it because arrow is squared here. That gives 72 equal to 1/9a. To get a, multiply through by 9. So a is equal to 72 times 9, and that is 648. B is the correct option. Question 15. In a class of 30 students, every student has at least a ruler. If 25 students have white rulers and 20 students have yellow rulers, how many students have rulers of both colors? That is intersection. From the question, there are two subsets. Let W and Y denote white and yellow rulers respectively. Now, the total number of students that have both rulers, that is the union, is equal to 30. Those that have only white ruler, 25. Those that have only yellow ruler, 20. Those that have both, unknown. From set theory, the union of two sets can be expressed in this form. So you represent the various parts with their respective values except for the intersection. You transfer the intersection to the left, it becomes positive. If you add these two, you have 45. You transfer plus 30, it becomes minus 30. When you subtract, you have 15. That is option D. Alternatively, you can as well use Venn diagram to get the intersection. Using Venn diagram, you have the union equal to 30 elements in set W, you have 25, set Y, you have 20, intersection is S. So this is the intersection. Only W is 25 minus intersection. Then only Y is 20 minus intersection. The union is 30. If you add everything in the subsets or in the universal set, you equate it to 30. That is what you have here. Addition of this, this, and this equal to 30 minus S plus S is 0. 25 plus 20, you have 45 minus S equal to 30. You transfer minus S to the right, it becomes plus S. You transfer plus 30 to the left and it becomes minus. Therefore, S is equal to 15. The same option D. Question 16. Find, 5 numbers form a geometric progression GP if the second and the fifth are 9 and 243 respectively. Find the common ratio. This is like one of the previous questions. You have the nth term. Now at the second term, n is 2, so you replace n with 2. In the nth term formula, the second term is 9, so 9 is equal to a arrow. You call that equation 1. At the fifth term, you replace n with 5. In the nth term formula, the fifth term is 243 equal to a arrow power 4. Divide equation 2 by 1 in this form. That simplifies to 27 equal to arrow cube. To get arrow, you need to get the cube roots of both sides. So arrow is equal to cube root of 27, and that is 3. D is the correct option. Question 17. The first and last terms of an arithmetic progression are minus 2a and 38a respectively. The first and last terms. Determine the number of terms if its common difference is 5a. Solution. In arithmetic progression, the last and the nth terms are the same. So the nth term t sub n equal to L, the last term equal to a first term plus bracket open n number of terms minus 1 bracket close times d common difference. You replace the respective parameters with what they stand for except for n. If you transfer this term first, you have it in this form. After addition, you have you have 40a. Here is 38, not 32. So after addition, you have 40a equal to this. Divide through by 5a. So you have 8 equal to n minus 1. You transfer minus 1 to the left hand side. It becomes 8 plus 1 equal to n, and n is equal to 9. C is the correct option. Question 18. On Clara's 10th birthday, she began to save 2,000 naira every year in a kid savings account with an annual interest rate of 20% compounded annually. What will be the worth, that is the amount, worth of account when she turns 18? Solution: the amount she kept on depositing is the principal, the rate 20%, n is 8 because from 10 to 18 the difference is 8. The amount compounded annually is obtained using this formula. You replace principal with 2,000, the interest with, that is rate, the rate with 20, and n is 8. That simplifies to this and this. If you check 1.2 power 8, you have this result. You multiply it by 2,000 and that gives this. To 2 decimal places, you have 8,599 naira 63 kobo. That is option A. Question 19. The cost C of a car service is partly constant and partly varies with the time T it takes to do the work. If it costs 500 naira for a service of 2 hours, or for a 2 hours service, and 300 naira for an hour service, find the cost of 3-hour service. This is partial variation. This expression represents the statement from the first line. When C is 500, T is 2, you have equation 1. When C is 300 and T is equal to 1, you have equation 2. So the constants A and B are needed before the cost can be obtained. You need to solve both equations simultaneously using elimination method for the constants before the cost can be obtained. Subtract both equations to eliminate A. That gives 200 equal to B. To get A, substitute B equal to 200 into equation 2. This is equation 2. You replace B with 200. If you transfer it to the left, you have this expression, and 100 is equal to A. With this, you can state the formula connecting the cost and time in this form. Now you are asked to get cost when the time T is 3. You simply recall the formula that is connecting the cost and the time, and you replace T with 3. So you have 100 plus 600, and that is 700 naira. The cost for 3-hour service. D is the correct option. Question 20. Find the gradient of a line joining the points. Now, this is the gradient formula. This is the first ordered pair. Minus 5 is S1, minus 6 is Y1. 5 here is S2, minus 2 is Y2. If you replace everything in the formula, you have these results. That simplifies to this. You have 4 over 10, which reduces to 2 over 5. B is the correct option.